family, I'm so excited this morning. I have some very special guests with me. I have Miss Carolyn and Deborah Mitchell Freeman as Dr. D, as you all may know. Can we please welcome this morning them to the Now Network family? Awesome. Welcome to Vision to Reality, Mom and Sis. I'm so excited to have you. Oh, we got the puppy dog too. Well, we might as well welcome Baxby here too. Can we welcome them here this morning, family? Thank you guys for coming in this morning. Well, y'all, we have everybody here this morning. I'm so excited this morning. Sis, welcome. Mom, welcome. I'm just excited to have everybody here this morning with us. Sis Carolyn, I'm going to start with you. Can you tell me a little bit about Mom? What would your heart feel? So if somebody asks you right now, describe your mom. What in one paragraph? What would you say your mom is? Not who she is. What is she?
Wow. Okay. What is she? I would say selfless, emotional, because I think it's important to have those emotions, to have empathy, to be able to deal with people on a daily basis and to actually be in contact with their heart and not their physical, because I think sometimes that's hard. I'd have to say she's resilient, stubborn. I think that's all I can think of at the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure there's so much more. But she's very diligent. She's very she's very diligent. She's very caring. Yeah.
Yes, and I would have to say I totally agree. One of the other things that I would say is you are very dedicated.
Yeah.
Very dedicated. You're dedicated to the cause. And the reason I have Ma D here, to some people, they know her as Ma D. She's mother to everybody. And one of the reasons that we have Ma D here is we don't see very many Ma Ds.
No, not anymore.
We don't see very many of her. And you're probably trying to figure out, why do I have her here? Why are we talking about her? Majority of the time when we talk about people, we usually talk about them behind their back. But we want to give you your flowers while you are yet alive.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
She is a missionary at heart. And you're dedicated. Mm-hmm. You're dedicated. And one of the things that Vision to Reality is, we like to give people that platform. And we want to open the door globally to you, so the world will know who you are. Tell us a little bit about your mission.
Well, first of all, thank you for having us both here. And I'm just a little stubborn. That's only Monday through Friday. But with mission work, I remember many, many moons ago when I first started back in the 1900s, 1995, 96, 97, I got a call from God that said, I need you to go to the nation. And I started laughing like, I'm from Brooklyn. I don't think so. But then I started actually being obedient and listening to God. And it was so funny because one of my children, I don't know if it was you or your siblings, had made a comment: when you left the army, you like to run your mouth and teach and tell everybody what to do. Won't you just become a teacher and get paid for it? So when I started doing that part of it, the Lord just showed me He was getting me ready from the military to the civilian side to go on the mission field to work with people. And I think what I love the most is that it doesn't matter to me who you are, what you look like, or what nationality, what race, whatever your preference is, whatever you're doing, that's not my business. That's between you and God. But I was taught to do just what Jesus said, was love people. Mm-hmm. And then He told me to go across the water. And at first I said, you mean the bridge right here locally? And, the Gloucester Bridge here. And then He said, oh, no, I want you to go into nations. And it was prophesied at church. And I had a little hesitation because prior to now being blessed and being married, I was a single parent with X amount of children at home. Mm. And so it started for me as a summer program where they would visit with family while I would go out and do the work overseas. And I remember all the different things people were telling me, like, oh, that's terrible, you want to go there, you're going to get hurt, you're going to get this. There was so many they were saying. I was looking at all these days, and I was saying, well, when's the last time you went? And nobody had been there. So it was kind of sad for the list of people telling me not to do something that God had told me to do. And I think it was sad to me most of them were Christians. So the more and more I talked to my children, I was honest with them, and I told them what I needed to be doing and that I was going to go forth and do it. And as they got older and they left the nest, my time started increasing over and over till the last one finally left the house. And before you know it, I was actually living overseas and working and doing the work with the children and the different ladies. And the fulfillment was really, really great. I think what I brought to the table, which is what God was using me for, is that I could relate to them on any area of what could happen to a woman. I think if I made a list and I tell people what I've done, they're like, sure. So I think God uses our test to actually be those testimonies to free somebody else up.
Wow. Wow.
And my daughter's right. I do have this thing about I will give, I will do whatever I can for everybody. And in those givings, you may get hurt, but so did Jesus. He gave, and ultimately he was hurt, but he still kept on giving. So I don't have a problem with giving. I don't mind doing the work I do. And I think earlier my daughter had also stressed to everybody that, yes, it's better to know that when you come home and you see the fruit of what you're doing, you know it's not for no reason. It wasn't in vain. I think the most beautiful thing was last week when we had a room full of people that I have worked with and went to mission trips with them, men and ladies, and to see their reaction and talk to each other and realize what we have done. And I say we because it's not just about me. It's about him and it's about the teams. And, you know, they went through training. They took it serious, and they took God's word serious about working with his people and blessing them. And then 7 years ago, almost 8 now, he blessed me with a partner that understood what was needed. And it made it even easier. Much easier, because now, although I've been into areas where I've dealt with men who didn't really want to deal with women, it didn't become any better the fact that I was a minority female going into areas. You know, I've had guns in my face. I've had machetes in my face. I've had my hair pulled. I had a lot of things done to me, but each time I stood because God said, I got this. So it works out that the work we're doing is really, really good. In the last 2 years, he really focused on what we've been dealing with now is we say African Americans. We're Americans.
Right.
The passport says American. I don't want to be labeled, and I don't want my blessings to be labeled. We're all Americans. We're Americans of African descent, or whatever descent you find on Ancestry or whatever company you're using to find out who or where you came from. We all know whose we are,
Right.
but we all got to run around and find out who or where we came from. Well, with us doing it now, we are stressing to our Americans of African descent, come across. They want to see you. They want to. They want to see the Christians. They want to dispute the lies, because there've been so many lies told about the American of African descent, the Black American. We're not this type of person. We want them actually. There is good.
Bridging the gap.
And as well as men coming. The gap here is just as real there with the lack of male role models. So to see Black males that are Christians on fire for the Lord, that's a plus, and that's all part of bridging the gap.
Now, right there, I want to bridging the gap. Right there, I want to talk about that, because you and your partner, as you say, when we hear the word partner, sometimes that can be misleading. Now, when you say partner, that are you referring to my dad? I'm just asking. I mean, let's just clear the smoke here. Let's just clear the airwaves here.
My father, your dad,
Okay.
because we're all his daughters.
Okay. I'm just saying.
He's over all of the partners.
Okay.
But we have a lot of things that need to be done. The biggest failure among churches is when they forget that they're kingdom.
Okay.
And they act like businesses. And they know everything about nothing. Or for proper English, anything. So we have a lot of failure going on because they want to do... You don't want to go to the dentist and have heart surgery.
Ma'am.
You don't want to go to a mechanic and ask him to bake you a cake.
Ma'am.
So if you wise, you do just like God instructed Jesus to come down among the people and utilize and get fishers among men to take care of all the areas that need to be done. You know, he gave Mary a job that he didn't give to Joseph.
Right.
So we had to follow that same model. Don't do that. So that's not my expertise. I partner with people who are in ministry that can run a pen pal program, that know about finances, that know about counseling and drugs, that know about IT, or know about dealing with these boys and girls that have issues and understandings, or young ladies that can show them how to be respectful. You know, and I tell them all about my children. I say, my children are not perfect because there are no perfect children. Amen. But they went through a lot and they've all come through it. Right. And in their own individuality, personalities, they all are winners and they've all been able to show, look what happened. And I also brag about them because they were raised with a single parent. You know, their father didn't deny them or turn, you know, just walk out and say, I hate you. That was between him and I. But the bottom line is, in the house, it was just me. So they were still fulfilled as children. So they know a father's side of the house and know a mother's side of the house. But they still had to deal with singleness within the house daily. So if they all made it through, all have went through college, all have nice jobs. I'm not going to say good jobs or important jobs. They have nice jobs. They are working. They're intelligent. Then they and everybody around you can continue to do the same thing. So the things that go here are still going on in Africa also. So I use them as examples, and we talk about things that happened to me, and my partners are out there because I can't do what they can do. So collaborating together, praying together, with God over us, we get the job done because it's not about us. It's about his vision that was birthed inside of us.
That is awesome. And I think that's one of the key points that I love so much about you is that you said it in that statement, we're going to conclude. Because one of the things at a later date, we're going to bring you and my dad, we're going to bring back.
Papa Reggie, yes.
So that there's no prejudices here. But one of the things I love the statement that you always reiterate is that it's not about us.
That's right.
That's when you say, Carolyn, that's one of the things that you always stress. You always make the children your focus. God first, the children. And you always not necessarily put yourself last, but you make sure that those children are taken care of. I know that when I've gone through some personal issues myself, you always make sure that the children were taken care of. I'm not going to mess up my lashes and cry right now. But you've always made sure, when I was going through my issues, my health challenges, you made sure that my children were always squared away. You know, that was so important to our household. That made sure that my household, when my husband would be deployed or whatever, you made sure that those children were squared away. And that means a lot to so many. I mean, everybody knew about Mama D. Football coach. You was a coach to even the coaches. And that means so much. And that statement that you made is not about us. You even taught the coaches. That means a lot. Now, even though you are a missionary across the water, do you realize that you are a missionary here in America? Do you realize that?
I do, and it's important because I don't think anybody should be across if they haven't done home, because that's order. Even the Bible says you start right in your Jerusalem. So I'm not going over because I've always wanted to go to Africa. I've always wanted to be there. No, I'm going because it's part of the call and it's part of order. And speaking of order, even when I used to tell you about your children, the other thing I used to always stress is, Tina, always pray. And Tina, always talk to your husband. Mm-hmm. Tina, what is Kenny saying? What have you guys decided together? What have y'all talked about? Because those things are, order is important to me. Yes. You know, I can't be a marriage counselor and I don't know order. Mm-hmm. So that really is important. So you're absolutely right. When you say those things, it's order. And I truly, truly believe in that.
And I appreciate that. I know that sometimes you have a tendency to come in contact with some dignitaries, officials, high-ranking politicians, and you still who you are. All the time. And all you still, time. She just, brick wall. Brick wall. And I appreciate that about you. You know, you still who you are. One of the things that I admire about you, when you come in contact with these people, you still stay the same, which has made, for some of us, Ms. Carolyn, I think you can probably say this, that has taught some of us to keep that same
to remain, remain genuine.
Just stay genuine, exactly.
Be real.
One of the things I've learned about you is that even just recently, you entertained a young lady who was a pageant. Beautiful spirit young lady. Can you tell us a little bit about that event?
Yeah, and it all started with that same one of those big diplomats in Uganda, which was Mother Maria. And I had to laugh because we had a team of pastors, and the apostle said, how does this woman walk up in the parliament, in the office, and just lay her head down on top of the desk like she got up like that talking to the lady? And I said, because it was just a desk and it was just another person. Yeah. But her and I spoke, and her dream and her vision was always to help these young ladies, that they would be entrepreneurs, that they would represent Uganda in such a special way, not just beauty, because it's not just a beauty contest. It is a pageant. There are clusters of different villages in Uganda, and young ladies are selected. They go through boot camp. They go through training. They learn how to carry themselves respectfully, how to speak, how to, they're taught education is important, but most of all, they're taught to give back to their community and be proud of who they come from, no matter what skin tone or color they are, or what kind of hair they have. They are all natural and all real. And I was excited about the fact when my husband and I were selected to be on the executive board for the Uganda tourism. So we're on the national executive board where we do rub hands and arms, and even had the chance a couple times to talk with the president himself. And he's really excited about what's going on. He's happy about her trip, that she came here. And we're proud of all the work and everything that she's been doing, because she's come here with a platform to discuss and tell people, hey, come to my country where the people are friendly. We can have a nice time. And you see how we all really are. That the lies that you're hearing and the lies that we're hearing, we can bridge this gap and stop those lies. Let me show you the real Uganda, the real Africa. It's not about going to the beaches. It's not all about going to the bars and getting drunk. It's not about trying to come sleep with somebody. It's about come see the culture, be part of the families, go into the homes, learn how to do the weaving, how to make beads, how to cook the food. And the food. As you can see, I have no complaints about that. The food is awesome. So therefore.
But she's also a really genuine person on her own too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she's in school.
And she is. And we've had the opportunity to actually spend one-on-one time together away from my mother. So that's actually a friendship that I have developed based off of, which I don't think I would have never ever had that opportunity to have a friend across the world like that. Now I can now say I have a friend who's across the world because we've had genuine conversations about, the pride and love she has for her country, for her people, period, for the continent of Africa, period. And just, the things that she has on her platform, and even discussing on, my experiences being an African American female here, a woman of African descent here. I have other descents in my family, but the point is for us to, it's that gap being bridged. And this is the crazy part about it. This was not planned.
Wow.
She didn't bring her here so she could meet me. And I'm not normally, so inviting. But it really was something about her that spoke to me, that when she talked to me, she was just genuine. She was classy. She was in her crown and everything, but she treated me and my daughter with so much respect that I said, okay. And just having a conversation, and then being able to spend time and compare, she'd say what she observed in this country since she's been here. And then asking me, well, is that true? And me giving her my best form of opinion, because I don't, I'm not the official, person, like, this is what happens here, with this culture. No, but the point is, but she also I had questions about what was going on there. And then we compared those things. So you see how that's here coming together. And then those mindsets, even her saying, this is what I heard from here, about here. And me saying, well, yeah, this is what I heard from there. And then saying, wow, you know what? And coming to,
that is awesome.
But that wasn't planned. That's how God works. You understand? He uses venues and avenues.
Your plan.
And it wasn't my plan either.
That was his plan.
Yeah.
Now that is phenomenal, because it sounds as though you may be leaning a little bit toward missionary.
I don't know why you would say that. I don't know.
Maybe
That's still something the Lord's gotta. No,
I'm not. No. Well, then, since you're over there anyway, since you're over there in the water with the fishing rod and all that other stuff, I'm gonna reel you on in there. I'm just gonna see if you're over there in there. My next question, I'm gonna go for my fifth conclusion.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm Baptist now. My fifth conclusion. What would you say would be your 2020 declaration for your mom?
Oh, wow. I would say for 2020, and I don't want to say just for my mom, because my stepfather and her, they really do come together as a team. So my dream for what they are doing underneath God through ACTNIM is for them to spontaneously combust.
That's good.
You know what I mean by that?
I
want them to be in a place where they sit and it's so much coming in and, loving into them and to the things that they're doing that it can't be contained. That God just everywhere. Right. And so that way they're able to put their hands in other pots, and the seeds that they've already sown at this point now have started to flourish. Like they're already flourishing, but you know what I'm saying? They start sprouting out.
The harvest.
There you go. Yeah. See?
Wow.
That's what I would like to see.
That sounds like a serious declaration, Mom. Now that's shouting declaration right there, Mom. That's shouting declaration right there. Now, with that being said, Mom, what do you say for you and Dad? What would be your 2020 declaration?
I concur.
I stand in agreement already.
I'm going to bridge this gap right here. I concur.
Now, my only question would be, when people begin to sow into you, into ACTNIM, because we know ACTNIM is one of the ministries.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. How can people get in contact with you? That's really important that we make sure that they have the correct information. How can they get in contact with you?
It's real easy. I know majority of the time we're overseas, so a lot of people say, well, your phone number's not any good, and they're absolutely right. Because when we come here to give us a new one, we go there to give us a new one. But the website is steady. And as a matter of fact, we just updated it, so everything on it is perfectly completely correct. Thank you, Lord. But if you go www.actnimusa.com, the whole thing will come up. We have the heading on there for donation. We have the heading on there for if you want to see the newsletter or the news event, or you want to look at the teams and the people that work in all the pictures. Mm-hmm. If you want to see we even have the football teams for over there and here, because you had mentioned earlier about the football teams. We have a football team in Kawato that's located in Uganda. Dick's Sporting Goods has blessed us with giving them stuff every year, from shins to soccer balls and everything else. So we've got people on board doing the information, and we just really truly believe that whatever God touches somebody's heart to do for us, they'll do it. Because personally, and he'll tell you, this is my favorite expression, I don't need dead presidents, because we serve a live God who will give us all the dead presidents we need. I don't want to spend God's time chasing after people saying, give me, help me do God's work. Because God's not a beggar. And He hasn't made any of us beggars. So with that, God will turn around and tap whoever needs to be tapped, or touch whoever needs to be touched, to give us to do what we need, because it's His work. Because it's not about us. It's all about Him. And we need to understand that He's going to have His way regardless.
Amen. So with that being said, I need our viewers to make sure that you not only subscribe to Vision to Reality, but look at the information below. That is all of the accurate and updated information to get a hold of ACTNIM. She will give us that information again.
It's www.actnimusa.com. And if you email us, you'll see the email address on it. We'll send you newsletters every month to let you know what we're doing and where your money is actually going. Because we don't take money that's not ours. See, it's hot in hell. And my naturally curly hair is not going to work well in hell. So since I want to be in heavenly places where my bears are and my purple room, I am going to heaven and do what I'm supposed to do what's right.
Amen.
Did you know you could get you could make that decision for the Lord, what your room looks like and what's in there?
It says in my Bible, you have not because you ask not. And I'm going to go to my Father and tell him to prepare my room. Prepare my room,
He
Father.
already has prepared
And, right. And you know what his favorite colors are? Purple and gold. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I know.
You started it, Carol.
I know.
You started
I did it this
You
time.
started
This time.
I'm a daddy's girl.
See, so it is with my honor that I present to so many Mama D, Dr. Deborah Freeman, and my sister Carolyn. And it has been my honor to have you all on.
Thank you so
And
much.
someday, in the very near future, I'm going to have y'all on again. I don't know what just happened. That was a Mama D and Carolyn moment.
Yes.
It did not make bloopers. It actually is real and live and in color. Mama D, thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Carolyn,
Appreciate
Thank you.
Okay, Vision to Reality Family, show some love for Mama D and Miss Carolyn. God bless. Bless you.